So when I talk to people about the Red Cross, they have a pretty good idea of who we are. They know the logo, they know the brand, they've seen this before, but they don't always know what we do. Obviously we do collect blood, so that's a huge part of what we do, especially here in southern Maine, in disaster relief, because we don't have the hurricanes and the wildfires and the tornadoes. Most of what we respond to are home fires. We have a volunteer program called Disaster Action Team. The fire department has called us to say, we're responding to a fire in Westbrook. There's two residents that are displaced from their home, and we need help. We're here to fight the fire. We need the Red Cross to come and help these people.
And we're able to provide them some amount of money, essentially to get them through a few days. It's not a lot, but it maybe be able to get them to a hotel room, get them some clothing if they need it, and we can arrange things like if they've lost medicine. We have a whole backup crew of mental health professionals, health care people.
So that's one of the things that we are experts on, is helping people put one foot in front of the other and know what to do next. So we have another program, we call it our Home Fire Campaign. And this is an education and resource program where we not only go out and tell the community about the dangers of home fires, we provide and install smoke alarms completely free of charge to anybody who needs them.
It's not income-based. It's anybody who really needs one. And then we try to do, one day we will do 4 or 5 different houses. We put in smoke alarms in places where they need it.
We run about 6 blood drives every day in the state of Maine, out at churches and community centers and town halls and wherever our sponsors want to have us. So blood collection is a big part of our local operations.
Like studying medicine, we know about the body, and then we know how much is important blood in the body, So like in case of accident, in case of any disaster, we really need blood, people need blood. So my role in that process is to make it smoothly with the person who's coming. Let's say you are a first donor, it's your first time. So I'm here to make sure that you are safe and you are fine. So to making that process really smooth with you.
When Los Angeles catches fire, of course we have hundreds of volunteers in Southern California that activate and help. But those people are quickly overwhelmed, right? And it's going to be a response that doesn't just take 48 hours and they can all go home. So on those large disasters like that, we actually deploy volunteers from all over the country, including here in Maine, to go to Los Angeles, or go to Missouri after a tornado, or go to North Carolina after a hurricane.
So I have deployed locally up in Rumford, in Western Maine floods. I've deployed regionally, like in Vermont, 2 years in a row. There's been significant damage up there. And then nationally, most recently with Helene, and I deployed to the mountains of North Carolina. The primary challenge is we have to be able to move on a dime. We have 24 hours to pick up and leave for 2 weeks or longer. Then my wife and I deploy together, which is one of the reasons we're the Red Cross is one of the few organizations we can do that with, as what's called an ERV team, emergency response vehicle. They're used for moving equipment, moving gear, but primarily for feeding people. And they're basically a big food truck. And they can deliver food in bulk, or we can actually set up a feeding line and serve food out of that vehicle. It's set up very well. We first deployed to Asheville, but then we discovered the biggest need was up around Boone. And once we were there for a while, we put together a route where we visited for both lunch and dinner. So we would do that day after day after day. As we did that, we got to know the people, and we talked to them, and we'd find out what they needed. So on the way up, coming back, we spent hours on the road, and we'd pick up all kinds of, hygiene needs, all kinds of stuff, throw it in the van, and then go up, deliver the food, head around, talk to people more, find out the needs. We did this for several weeks.
The last deployment was Hurricane Irma. That one, I was actually what they call pre-landfall deployment. So I grabbed a Portland ERV that I had and a fellow team member, and we actually drove it down to Florida in anticipation of the hurricane coming. So I was there in Tallahassee when the hurricane actually landed.
Some of the volunteers we have in Maine get requested by name because they are the logistics experts for this particular kind of disaster in the country. So we're 90% volunteer as an organization. Most people you talk to at the Red Cross are volunteers. And they're looking for all kinds of things. People volunteer for all kinds of reasons. But one of the things that's pretty consistent is they're looking for a community.
And I think sometimes when you retire, you need that the work connection that you haven't had, that you don't have anymore. So it's enjoyable. And we need people. We still need volunteers.
I like to be involved in the community. I started volunteer here in 2022, you know, and then after that, I got a position here as a blood donor ambassador. Then I started volunteer here.
It's very emotional for all parts of people, but to be there to help people in their worst time, it's very rewarding, and that's what really drives me into continuing with the Red Cross.
Many of our Red Crossers are now great friends because they go through some really intense stuff together, right? They're responding to home fires as a team, and so that will bond you. But also, they look for community in their broader community, right? They're responding to their neighbors who are in need.
During COVID, I did a lot of blood drives, and I was amazed at the amount of support, not only from the people at Red Cross, but the people would actually come in. A lot of older people would come out and donate blood. It was kind of a terrifying experience for a lot of them. But a lot of people right here in South Portland, I could name the churches and the places we've all been to, they really stepped up.
I find the Red Cross is so diverse, and it helps from the local in South Portland. Should a disaster happen in South Portland, even home fires, you know, big events, and yet we can go and help everywhere in the country. So, and they would come to our aid if we had something major. That's what the whole process is.
I like helping people, definitely. That's why I chose to study to become a doctor, you know. So I like helping people, and I feel like I'm doing literally something, you know, by helping people. I see people from Scarborough, from South Portland, from Poland, from everywhere in Maine coming here to donate blood. So
we're retired and we have the ability to do it. And in a way, it's that simple. And the Red Cross, we're grateful to the Red Cross for giving us that opportunity to make a difference. We can do it, so we do it. It's kind of simple, but it's what it comes down to.